This is the Slots and Sockets podcast, episode number 66. I am one of your hosts, IRD Moose, and my partner in crime,
Turbo Penguin.
Happy Monday to you, Turbo. Welcome to the show. I guess I don't know why I'm welcoming you, because you've already been here and seen me struggle through being the host who has difficulty pushing the right buttons every once in a while.
Hard to press buttons.
Hey, look, yeah, a trained monkey could do this, and I'm definitely not a trained monkey. So
You're a monkey?
No, I'm a moose.
Oh, well, what are we talking about monkeys?
I don't know. It was just a thing. So we got some interesting news that dropped today about Asus and AMD and Xbox.
Yep.
So AMD apparently has sneakily, outside of Computex, released information about the Ryzen Z2 that says we're going to get a couple of new handheld gaming CPUs.
Yeah, so you got the new AMD, and I don't know, is this a beefier version of the Z2 Extreme, or is this modified?
It's the AI Z2 Extreme.
Okay, so
it's got more AIs.
Okay, so but you understand my view of AI is nobody uses it and it's useless. So
right. I have a feeling with AI in a lot of these parts, it's kind of like NVIDIA treated physics, where if you just put it in there, somebody's going to do something interesting with it eventually. And I think eventually they're just going to drop the marketing term and it's just going to be normal for hardware. As far as what it gives over the Z2 Extreme, though, I mean, yeah, we've got 50 AI tops in terms of performance, but it's still the same configurable TDP of 15 to 35 watts. There really isn't anything super earth-shattering there because it supports up to LPDDR5X.
Okay, so I'm looking at the slide here.
Mm-hmm. Which is basically what I'm reading from.
Same threads, the same memory speed, same TDP. The only difference is it's got 50 AI tops. So I don't know if that means it has a separate like AI process, like an NPU that's giving the 50. But okay,
it looks like they turned it on.
Okay, what application that you're going to use a Z2 Extreme is going to be needing or using?
Right now, the only thing I could think of that would work on that would be Unreal Engine 5.
Okay, and what? So, okay.
Yeah.
In this form factor, it seems ridiculously dumb.
I agree. Now, overall, the chip is not particularly dumb. But this part, kind of making it a selling point, is... yeah. I think they're just throwing it on there to be like, oh, we can charge an extra $50 for the CPU. Over the regular Z2 Extreme. Unless it comes...
I really think the question is like, you've got the Asus ROG, which I have not played with, by the way, but like, is Asus going to do something to be like ours does, and because you have this AI version, it will do this, this, and this? I mean, well,
I could see potentially where this might be a play to get FSR 4 into handhelds, because there is some reliance on the AI portions of RDNA 4. And looking at this, I believe this is an RDNA 3.5 setup.
It is 3.5.
Yeah. So with it being 3.5 and having the NPU, they could potentially leverage the NPU for some of the stuff that they've talked about with RDNA 4.
I don't know. I mean, the other question will be is what do you have the use case for this?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I mean, just out of the top of my head, I look at the use case for the Z2 Extreme, which I think is useful, and I think is very very positive.
Yeah.
Um, I think when you add in the AI piece of it, I sort of question how and why we would do that.
Right.
What are you going to use Copilot or any AI workload on a ROG Ally? It's my understanding the ROG Ally is a gaming handheld
Mm-hmm.
used purely for that.
Yeah.
It's not a business. It's not marketed to business. I don't see how a business, unless they're in the business of developing games, would use a ROG Ally. So I look at this and be like, okay, so you turn this on and you'll charge $100 more for it or whatever the price point is,
Sure.
and it's just because now we have AI for everything.
I mean, it looks like the Ally X, which is the top model, that has the AI Z2 Extreme, is going for $899. So that's pretty steep for a handheld. You're paying more for that than you are for a Series X. And it's got the same OS on it theoretically.
I mean, I would say I think that these are a nice thing to have in the marketplace. I'm sure
Yeah.
some people really like these. Um, I look at Steam Deck and I've played with the Steam Deck. I see limited use from my perspective, and those who I know have the Steam Deck, while they will use it, it's not something that gets consistent use.
Right.
Um, Now, I do really like the notion of Steam Deck, especially over these Windows versions. Um, Mainly because I think that the Steam Deck is pushing the narrative that Steam should be, and I would put a lot of money on developing a Steam machine for desktops.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love there to be a Linux version um, that I could install and not necessarily have um, Windows.
Right.
But
So you could
that
take
I think,
advantage of the efficiency gains in Linux through Steam OS with, something you could potentially use as a daily driver anyway.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how that looks. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that are excited for this.
Sure.
Um, I'm not particularly going to be in line to buy this. If someone wants to give it to me for free, then I might play around with it. But it's
We'll take
probably end up.
testing samples. Yeah.
It probably end.
Oh,
There's
oh,
plenty of tech out there. Yep.
oh, we
There's
had a big
plenty of
jump.
there's plenty
Oh,
of tech out there that like there's a push to get this in,
mm-hmm.
but gamers don't use.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is like for the AI Z2 Extreme, they're throwing 24 gigs of memory at it and a terabyte of storage, where so they're not just using the AI as the differentiator. They're using the storage and the soldered on memory, which you can't upgrade, as, kind of additional selling points to
Well,
justify
but
that cost. But we still do
is
have two potential current use cases right now for AI in gaming, because there is a lot of work that Epic is doing with Unreal Engine to build in a lot of these AI features for various functions in games, where you could have AI, AI not necessarily animated, but AI responsive characters in game, and you would need some form of AI processing on board for that, because in a handheld you're not going to be connected to the internet 24/7. but also we have the possibility of FSR4 taking advantage of those AI cores as well.
Well, let's be honest though, there is a huge difference between these two. I mean, the Z2A has half the cores, GPU cores, half of the CPU cores. Um, it is a different. It's not LPDDR5X. It's only LPDDR5.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so plus the biggest difference is the architecture. I mean,
Yeah.
the Z2A is kind of like, to be honest, it's unless it's wildly cheaper. Um, I mean, the difference, I mean, RDNA 2 versus RDNA 3.5, huge difference there.
Yep.
And then Zen 2 versus Zen 5, a huge difference there. So if we just look at those two, the technologies there, I mean, RDNA 2 goes back to what? Let's see.
That would be the 6800, 6900 series. So that's 3 gens back now.
3 generations back. And then Zen 2, I mean, that's 20, that's yeah, is that 3000 series. So I mean, there's a huge difference between the technology and the notion that you're going to have, there is going to be a huge difference between the Z2A and the Z2 Extreme.
Oh, I apologize. That $899 price that I listed earlier was for the Z1, not the Z2. So an even older part. But I think we could probably expect the new handheld to come out kind of in that $899 price range for the top end version.
That is Strick's point, by the way. The Z2 Extreme. This will be the first one that's on Strick's point. But the biggest difference between the Z2 Extreme and the AI Z2 Extreme is the NPU. So the question is there a use case for it? I beg to question if there is one. I doubt there is, but if there is, then go buy it. If not, save a couple of bucks and just get the non-AI version of it.
Yeah. I mean, what I would, if it were me, because my use case would be when I'm traveling. If I'm out going on a business trip and I got to take a long flight or something, that's where I'm going to use it primarily. Or just chilling in the hotel and I don't want to slog my laptop with me to play something. I'll hop on there, and I think that kind of aligns with what most people we both know who have this form factor device end up using them for. They're not really gaming laptops. They're not really desktop replacement class things. They're something you toss in your bag when you're going to go somewhere. And if you get the chance to game, you game.
It just feels like the use case is like getting on a plane and playing on something to pass time.
Yeah.
And you don't want to pull out like a laptop.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like, I don't see how it would replace my laptop. And if I'm already traveling, I don't know.
Yeah.
Find something else for it to do.
Yeah.
That's my view of it. I'm sure there's people who might think about something differently, but it's good to maybe not be connected 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So
true.
And anyways.
Yeah, no, and I think it could be a good thing, and I'm really hoping that with this new Z2 Extreme coming out, that we do see something coming from Valve in terms of a second gen Steam Deck, because they were saying they weren't going to release the Steam Deck 2 until there was a big change in the hardware, and I would argue that Strick's point is potentially a big change in the hardware, because we're talking the Ryzen Z1 I think it's the Z1 that's in the Steam Deck. And that is pretty long in the tooth now. It's not a bad performer by any stretch of the imagination, but it definitely gave the Switch a run for its money. And I think in terms of this part coming out, if you're a Switch gamer, but you also like PC games, maybe give this one a shot if the portability aspect is what you're going for the Switch for, because you can play a much larger library of games. Might not get the Nintendo stuff, but eh.
I know that there's a bunch of gamers out there that really like these portables, and I appreciate my ability to play my PC games away. Um, but that's not how I typically consume. Well, let me rephrase that. That's not how I consume games. In fact, I typically don't play a lot of games on my phone either, because I just prefer it on the PC so much over a mobile version. I feel like it's, there's a couple of games I have there that I'll ever do but it's just for me, it's just not, that important. But speaking of importance, did you know that Zotac has you covered?
How so?
Because Zotac has decided that gamers need a new fragrance.
Oh no!
To go along with their video cards.
Oh no! They're doing the fragrance thing too. Yeston did that with their cute pet.
Okay, so no, it gets better. So it's not just like the you spray like a fragrance on a GPU. It's actually a cologne, and it's called F5.
Guys, hey, look, okay. Honestly, I'm probably allergic to it because I have a extreme chemical sensitivity to perfumes. But that is something that is dorky enough. It's like it's literally right up my alley. Like
okay,
I facepalm, but I'm secretly loving it inside.
Okay, F5 is offering sea breeze, cypress, mint, and white musk, a refreshing, aquatic, woody fragrance that awakens the senses and enhances your gaming performance.
Do you want to smell woody? Where's the tinny fragrance? Where's the tinny fragrance? It enhances
your gaming performance. So apparently Zotac is selling this and enhancing your gaming performance.
Well, if my neighbors use that at LAN parties rather than refusing to bathe for 4 days straight,
you can apply for a beta. Oh my gosh,
oh geez.
I want to submit my application for F5 Zotac.
So we might have a beta product review coming.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
please tell me this is a legit thing.
It's
not oh my gosh.
It's not April, so it's not an April Fool's.
It is not it's not an April Fool's joke.
So you could potentially stink at a LAN party in a pleasing way. Yeah. And
hold up.
Fair warning to those of you who do like certain perfumey things. There are people, myself included, who have terrible reactions to it, just even being in the general area of perfume things. So I'm not saying don't, but
don't.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I would say give it a shot. As long as I don't have to be around you, I'm good.
Oh my gosh. Anywho, that dumb bombshell.
Yeah, on that bombshell, I think we're going to call it a show for this evening. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time. Do remember to jump down the doobly-doo below, drop us a like, a subscribe, maybe a comment or 2 or 3. And we love hearing from you. And I forget the rest of what I normally say because it has just been a Monday. So until next time, have fun storming the castle.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.